do that. Let's do that, and then we'll circle around to the discussion. Otherwise, they'd make all kinds of serious scientific accusations if we made them unhappy. Okay, who's in charge of this unruly group of scientists, current and future and next year Sea Grant fellows? Okay, Ms. Hastings, you're in charge of it. All right, to show that you're scientists and are fully organized, you naturally have chosen the order of speaking. You have decided to come forward while in the order in which you will speak. So in the chair next to Ms. Hastings will be Speaker 1. Are you organizing that in accord with the agenda,
plan that
the list that we were given?
Don't know this,
huh?
But the plan is that they will come up three at a time since there happen to be three chairs next to me.
Well, we were given a list of the fellows. Is that the list we're going to get them in?
This is the list, and it's in the order in which they will present.
Mr. Hasrick, Ms. Motorin.
So we're just going to jump right in. Do you want any background or jump
Tell us
right
who you are. We've got these members. You got a single sheet handed out, which indicates the university and at least a general comment on what you hope to do, as opposed to what we might think up for you to do, which is not always the same thing.
Mr. Chairman and
Mr. Hasrick?
Is this mic turned on? Yeah.
Is that mic turned on?
Yes.
It is turned on. You have to get very close to the microphones here.
Thank you. My name is Jason Hasrick. I am a Delta Science Fellow postdoc at UC Santa Cruz and also with NOAA Southwest Fisheries Science Center and the Salmon Ecology Group. I study the movement and survival of out-migrating winter-run Chinook salmon in the Sacramento River and Delta. And this is critically important because salmon in the Central Valley in general are in a state of crisis, as you may know from recent fishery closures in past years. I'm particularly interested in the winter run because it is the most endangered of the salmon runs. These runs are identified by the timing of spawning, so there are 4 runs in the Central Valley, and they are determined by when they go up to spawn and then also when they come out of the river. So my study in particular is looking at this most endangered run. The winter run in particular has experienced a 6-year decline over the last 6 years, and no one really knows exactly why that is happening. The other runs have not experienced the same thing. And it is known from studies tracking the movement of salmonids out of the river that 90% often do not make it to the ocean. So my study in particular is looking at movement and survival out of the Sacramento River to the ocean in order to determine where and when the salmon are dying.
That was a good summary.
That was a good summary. That was a good summary. Were you the one who told me the other day scientists weren't involved in facts? You're into probability? No, it wasn't you.
That wasn't me.
All right.
Just a question. I don't get it as a summary, but so how long is the study, though, Jason? What is the period of time for your study?
So this is a 2-year postdoc, and
so it's 2 years.
Yeah. So and this is the beginning of my 2nd year, and we'll be tagging the fish as they're released out of the hatchery. There's a conservation hatchery at the base of Shasta Dam, starting in February.
Okay. Very good. Thanks.
Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here today. So I'm Julien Moderan. I'm sort of a non-native species. I've been introduced in the Delta system about 1 year ago as a really happy and proud Delta Science Fellow, postdoc fellow. And my research project is about food web. I mainly try to figure out what are the main organic matter sources or the energy sources that fuel the food web, the pelagic food web in the estuary, in the Delta system. And I mainly focus my research on zooplankton, and there are 2 main reasons for that. First one, zooplankton is these little tiny bugs are really good food for the fishes, and most of these fish species, pelagic fish species, are in a state of decline for the past about 10 years. And what I do, what is the most exciting part of my project, in my opinion, is that I give sort of a second life to historical zooplankton samples that have been collected by the Interagency Ecological Program over the past 40 years, and I try to relate any changes in the diet at the base of the food web to changes in the environmental condition. Most of them have been, induced by man, and that's very exciting.
Okay.
So where is your work occurring? He goes up to tags in Shasta, and obviously they do some following. So where is yours?
So I have two main components in my research. For one of them, I'm sampling all along the estuary from the San Pablo Bay up to the lower Sacramento and San Joaquin River, so I can study the current state of the food web. And for the second part, the historical part of my project, I use samples from a station in the San Joaquin River and samples from a station at the confluence of the San Joaquin and Sacramento River, so the low salinity zone of the estuary.
Okay, thanks.
Ms. Lesmeister.
Yes. My name is Sarah Lesmeister. I'm a PhD candidate at UC Davis. I'm in the graduate group in ecology, and I'm also a 2011 through 2013 Delta Science Fellow. The title of my project is The Non-Target Effects of Pesticides on Zooplankton Populations in the San Francisco Estuary. And so what does that mean? Basically, it comes from the idea of you are what you eat. And in the estuary, as they talked about before, pod species, so fish species, have been in decline. And part of that's due to a variety of reasons. One is the decline in nutritious food items. And there's been several ideas about why the food for the fish are declining. And one of them is pesticide exposure, and that's the study, or the background for my study. And so basically what has happened to the healthy foods for the fish? There are many ideas, but mine is from pesticide exposure. My preliminary results have shown that the native food items for the pelagic fish have been or are sensitive to pesticide exposure. And so the bigger implications for this are that managers and scientists may make better decisions in the Delta regarding pesticide use and flow, and this may ultimately affect the food web and the Delta. And this will, and overall, the health of the Delta's aquatic food web can be improved through my research.
Okay.